So we have some new CIVIVI knives to check out, and I actually do have these up on the NEEVEKNIVECO site, so you can find them there if you're interested in purchasing any. This is the Cut STORMHOWL. I will also link other places as well, but man, CIVIVI, they are killing it with the aluminum scales, man. This is micro milled aluminum scales, and you can see it's got the coated finish, and this texture is nice and heavy. Feels really good in the hand, and you know, these are solid. There's no liners on the inside, so not only does it feel tough and feel solid, it's super lightweight. I love this straight clip point blade. You know, to me, I think personally, as far as clip points go, straight clip points are the best because they allow, one, the strength to get down to the tip, but two, for it to be precision, for it to be pokey, and then also to get down, you know, nice and low for utility cuts. So in many cases, a clip point that's done well, that has a straight clip point, can be even better than a clip point that's done very well can in many cases be even better than a drop point. Now, the action, as I would expect, perfection. They've mastered it, man. They have mastered the button lock detent, the button lock lockup, rock solid. It's like a damn vault. It's surprising how good their button locks have gotten. You can reverse flick it, actually, though. I'm not sure if you'll be able to do it, but I find it fairly easy. Yeah, it just, you know, it's, even though the detent is nice and solid, it just works. You got this, you know, the two transitions from the satin, and if you look, it has the coated on this exact one. There's different versions, obviously, but it has the satin right here and the coated. You can kind of use that coated part. Actually, you can use the satin to flick off of. The clip is a reversible deep carry clip that's inset with flat screws. Love their clips. I think their clips, yeah, they might be, you know, they might look very budget, but they work. And this one is over the top of micro milled surface. The tension is a bit strong, but you know, I imagine it's gonna work just fine, or I know it will. T8 hardware all the way around. Gotta love to see that. The only T6s are on the actual clip, if you are going to flip it, but very ergonomic in the hand. You know, you can kind of choke up a little bit. The pinch grip's gonna be great. All in all, man, this is great, man. This is a really good one. And you know, as far as negatives go, I don't have any. Sharpening tool and plunge grind's good. You know, they gave you plenty of life. The ergonomics are really good. The clip's good. I mean, I can't think of anything that I would want to change. Even the blade is nice and thin, nice and slicey. Yeah, great job, CIVIVI, man. That's a good one. Next is the CIVIVI Sendy. Now this one, man, you know, I didn't think I would like it as much as I do, but I freaking love this thing. One, I like this texture they put on the G10. It's kind of like a wood grain, but you can actually feel it. It feels really good. And then I love the liners, how it's green over the red. I think that just looks really cool. There's obviously going to be different versions. Now, this one does have some tricks up its sleeve, so we'll get to that here in 1 second. But this action, I think, is the most unfailable action you will ever get on a knife. I mean, I have sat here and tried to cheat. I've literally tried to cheat and open it, and I can't fail it. I mean, the only way I can fail it is if I allow the blade to come around and hit my finger. That's the only possible way I can fail. Other than that, like, it's impossible to fail. It's the leverage point is up so high, and the detent is so crispy. It's like the most crispiest cleaning breaking action you could ever ask for on a knife. It does have a spay point blade in Nitro V, very slicey, great geometry, good access to the lock bar. Now the flipper tab, if you look, it is very slim because it's the same slimness as the blade. You can see it has internal stop pins, so it has an internal stop pin in the open and the close, and then the flipper tab, you know, you can see it's a little pokey, but it works so well, man. I love it. I freaking love it. So snappy. Like, this is a knife you can hand literally to anybody in the world, and there's no way possible they're gonna fail this. It almost feels assisted. Love the sharpen and show and plunge grind. I think they did a good job with that. Nice sharp edge. They did a good job with the sharpening. You know, the blade fits right inside the handle really nicely. Now here is the tricks up its sleeve. Let's get to that. So we have a nice little toothpick back here and some tweezers. So, you know, it's kind of a little bit of a multi-tool and a knife all in one. And me, personally, cool. I like it. Personally, I always carry toothpicks, so I think a toothpick's a good idea. Tweezers, you know, pulling splinters, or you maybe need to pick up something that's really tiny. That, you know, that's always a good thing to have. The access to the lock bar, look at that. Great access. The clip, very deep. Inset with flat screws and reversible. TA hardware all the way around. Yeah, this is a banger, an absolute banger. Now, a spay point blade, let's speak about it. So, one, you guys know what spay point blades originally came from, you know, for spaying animals, and the point was to not have a point. No pun intended. It was to not have a tip on the blade, so that when they were, or actually pun intended, I'm sorry, they didn't want to poke when they were slicing around, you know, that area of the animal. They didn't want to risk poking. So the tip is not very pokey. However, for general EDC, this just works. One, you have a nice long cutting edge for slicing, but then you have a little bit of belly for cutting down on a surface or for skinning and, you know, and doing things that you would do with a belly. But you do have enough of a tip to where, you know, you can, you know, open things up and, you know, and slice things and poke things and do little utility cuts. Now, it's not going to be the best utility cutter, compared to like a Warncliffe or something, but it's going to be good. It'll still be really good. And you have a lot of leverage into that tip because the tip is centered with the pivot, so you're going to be able to use it just fine. And because of this handle, you can use it in any direction. Not that this would be a gas station knife fighting knife, but you can definitely get it in that grip, you know, if you'd have to poke into something. And if you do, make sure you always aim towards the stop pin. Never stab something down where the stress goes towards the lock, because if it does fail, you know, you'd have issues. That's why you always strike downward where the pressure is going to go to the stop pin. Just a little tip, if you ever were going to poke anything. It does have a hidden lanyard pin back here, which I think also looks, you know, is done very well and looks really good. The liners are even, you know, like they're slightly crowned all the way around. You know, which is just a nice little touch. We have milling on the inside, so it is nice and lightweight. And I imagine it's going to break in more and more, but, you know, it's still plenty smooth. Just takes a couple shakes and it's down. It's a very light blade, so I don't expect it to be fall shut. It is frictionless on the close. The action, man, I can't get over it. As far as negatives go, I only have a couple little, and they're so dumb, but like this is a little sharp, right? But I love it, so I wouldn't change it. So I don't know how big of a complaint that could be, but yeah, when you get it, you'll notice, you know, the jimping's a little sharp on here, but that's also what makes it so good. So yeah, a little bit thin, a little bit slim, a little bit pokey, a little bit sharp, but I like it. The next thing is, you know, the tweezers and the toothpick, while they work, you know, they're good. There's nothing wrong with them. You know, they feel like, you know, they're going to work decently, but I kind of wish they were a little bit better quality. They feel a little bit cheap. You know, not that they should be made out of titanium, but that'd be really cool, right? But I don't know. You know, that's kind of dumb because, you know, I know like they're not going to try to put, you know, something super expensive in there, but I don't know, just maybe if they're just a little bit thicker or something, I don't know. They feel very, very simple. And the knife feels so cool that, you know, it's a small little nitpick, and to be honest, a lot of people are, you know, they'll be able to use them just the same, so it's not going to matter that much. Like I said, man, I freaking dig it. I'll link everything down in the description for you guys if you guys want to check out prices, size, you know, lengths and all that stuff. It'll all be linked down in the description. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.